Welcome to Serenity, Game Systems Foundation. In this point, we're going to introduce models into Serenity. In the previous tutorial, we learned how to connect menu options with logic using the event dispatcher. Now we're going to build on top of that, adding an intermediate step. Instead of executing logic directly, we'll show a model first. To keep the example simple, we'll create a test menu option that shows a confirmation model. If the player confirms, we'll log a message on console. A modal is a temporary window that appears on top of the current interface. It is typically used to ask for confirmation or display important information. In Serenity, Modals follows the same architecture as the rest of the system. The visual layout comes from the UI theme. The content is defined through scriptable objects, and the behavior is connected through the event dispatcher. Before using a modal, let's quickly look at its visual template. Inside the UI theme, Serenity provides a base modal prefab. This prefab defines the structure of the model: background, panel, title, message, and buttons. We don't create modal windows manually in the scenes. The model system uses this template whenever it needs to display one. So, if you customize this prefab, you customize all models in your project. Menu options don't execute logic directly, they emit signals. And those signals are handled by actions. In this tutorial, we'll reuse exactly the same pattern, but instead of executing the final logic in that first action, we'll use it to open a modal. The first thing we need to create is the signal and action. Remember how we did it on the previous tutorial. Then, create another signal to open this modal. The next one is the Unity action definition, which will know the signal to dispatch. Now we'll proceed to create the model itself. Use the context menu to create a new model definition. This definition describes what the model should display. Assign the signal that this model will react to. Populate the title and the text to show. Use Add Submit button to create a new button on the model. Populate its ID, label, and alignment. Add the proper signal to dispatch and submit the button. As you can see, this definition only describes the content. It doesn't contain logic. Now we connect everything. Open your menu definition and create a new option called Test Model. This option will emit a signal, just like we learned before. That signal will be handled by an action that opens a modal. And now the flow becomes this one. The important idea is that the menu is still completely decoupled from the modal. It just emits a signal. Once the model is displayed, the player can confirm the action. When that happens, the modal system produces a result. We can react to that result using another action. So now the full flow looks like this. Menu dispatches signal A. Action A reacts to signal A by opening a modal. Modal button dispatches a signal V. Action V reacts to signal V by logging a message. This is the key idea. We've inserted a modal in the middle of the same event dispatcher flow. In this point, we reused the event dispatcher pattern and extended it with modal. We didn't change how menus work. We didn't couple UI with logic. We simply inserted a modal as an intermediate step in the flow. This keeps the system flexible and easy to extend. In the next step, we'll introduce the localization system and transform this entire UI flow into a fully multi-language interface. The interesting part is that we won't need to duplicate menus, prefabs, or screens. We'll simply replace hardcoded text with localization keys, and let Serenity take care of the rest.